Hello everyone! I hope you're all doing great today. So, this is Carol Jane Yamoway from English 2b and I will be your presenter for today's lesson. And our topic for today is all about how to deal with grammar. Sample lesson number 1. But before that, let us all discuss the third grammar. So what is grammar? So grammar is a set of rules for forming the words into a sentence in the correct order to convey the complete meaning of the thought. So in short, grammar refers to the way and how we construct sentences correctly and in order. And now that you already have an idea about grammar, then let's proceed to the sample lesson number 1, which specifically using learners' errors to review cohesive devices. So in this lesson, we are going to read, determine, and analyze some of the learners' errors and to highlight each of these in order to correct it by replacing or by adding words or phrases to complete the thought of the sentence. So we have 5 steps in this sample lesson. So the first step, the teacher hands out a worksheet which consists of a number of sentences she has collected from the previous written work. So this is the example of the worksheet. So we have here the 5 examples or the 5 sentences wherein we could be able to locate or to determine the error or the sentences which are grammatically error. So first sentence, I have no girlfriend in spite handsome boy. Number 2, the little Red Riding Hood has chopped into the forest, nevertheless her mother's warning. 3, I ate chocolate every day in spite I had to buy it. 4, I came to Australia, nevertheless a lot of interesting places is in Japan. 5th, I will stay at home this weekend, nevertheless my boyfriend will spend his time on the beach. So from the worksheet, we could analyze the errors, right? So next, let's proceed to this step number 2. So the step number 2, the teacher then monitors the pair work, helping learners sort out some of the peripheral problems, and she also encourages the learners to try and work out the solution themselves. So step 3, the teacher then distributes a handout, let's see the contrast page later, wherein she asks the learners to study before returning to the sentence correction test. So here is the example of the contrast. So when contrasting two surprising facts, the most common way is to use the word but. Just like for example, here is the sentence. The film was long, but I didn't get bored. Some other ways of expressing contrast are, it is using the linking ideas in one sentence. So for example, we have to use the word in spite of plus the noun. So we have, in spite of the film's length, I didn't get bored. So linking ideas number 2, we have to add the word in spite of the fact that plus the clause. So we have, in spite of the fact that the film was long, I didn't get bored. So we have also linking to sentences wherein we add the word nevertheless plus the sentence. So we have, the film was long, nevertheless I didn't get bored. Okay, so next we have the step 4. So the teacher then elicits corrected versions of the sentences in the class, such as the use of the linking devices such as in spite of, the fact that, nevertheless, and by underlining them and asking individuals to explain their use. So we have here an example. So from the step 1 wherein we could say that the examples there are grammatically wrong, then in step 4 we can conclude that it has been corrected. So first, I am a handsome boy, nevertheless I don't have a girlfriend. Number 2, Little Red Riding Hood went into the forest in spite of her mother's warning. Number 3, in spite of the fact that I am on a diet, I ate chocolate every day. 4, there are a lot of interesting places in Japan, nevertheless I came to Australia. 5th, I'm going to stay at home this weekend in spite of the fact that my boyfriend is going to spend it at the beach. So at the step 4, we can conclude that the sentences are all grammatically correct. Next, we have the step 5, wherein the teacher then hands out an exercise which requires the students to make the correct choice of linking device. So we have to complete the sentences using the word in spite of the fact that, or nevertheless. So number 1, we went to the beach, blank, it was rather cold day. So we went to the beach in spite of the fact that it was rather cold day. Number 2, it was rather cold day, blank, we went to the beach. So it was rather cold day, nevertheless we went to the beach. Number 3, blank the cold, we went to the beach. So it is in spite of the cold, we went to the beach. That's it. So now, let's proceed to the evaluation. So we have the 2 factor, which is the E factor and the A factor. So the E factor first. So assembling a collection of learners' errors is relatively easy where teachers have access to personal computers. It requires only a little extra time when marking written work to key in 1 or 2 errors per student. More difficult is capturing spoken errors. So recording students from time to time can help build a useful database. It pays to organize the collected errors into categories such as the tense, models, vocabulary, word order, and etc. And this will greatly facilitate the preparation for their future classes. So, we all know that it is difficult to determine or to locate the error in the sentence if we don't have the idea on how to do so, right? But if we have that idea, it is more easier for us to locate or to determine the errors in the sentence and even to correct it, right? So next we have the A factor. So there is always the danger that by emphasizing the negative, a focus on the errors they have made serves to discourage learners. However, students generally react positively to this very direct treatment of their errors, preferring it to more covert approaches. In order to convey a more positive message, however, it pays from time to time to intersperse correct sentences from students' output amongst the incorrect ones and ask students first of all to sort them into this category. So with the A factor, danger of emphasizing the negative or the error to the students because maybe it could discourage them. But on the other hand, through this, the students could generally react positively directly to the treatment of their errors, and they could even correct the error they have made in their written works. So the A factor only says that some of the students would find difficult for them regarding about emphasizing the errors within the work, but at the same time, they could also reflect the errors they have made and to correct it right away. So this lesson helps us to better understand and how we should deal with the grammars and how should we determine and to even correct those grammars in the sentences and to turn it into a better, correct, and a positive one. So that's all for my topic. Thank you for listening.